Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of How Did We Get Here? I'm your host, Jay Carter, and the man that is always heard and never ever will be seen, Skeens, a.k.a. the background killer, a.k.a. Dr. Claw, a.k.a. the Wizard of Oz, a.k.a. present but not accounted for,
not here and not here,
a.k.a. coming to a theater near you but you'll never see it. Better than your average is the channel and the movement. How did we get here is the show. We got two cousins that are like brothers talking any and everything in the process. How did we get here? And without any other further ados of the ados, the beautiful mug that you can see before you right now is none other than our officially unofficial third host, Mr. King Kai Phoenix. Welcome back, babe.
Almighty.
It's been a
Let me
minute.
tell you something.
Go ahead.
That intro music, bro.
Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, the smooth sound.
Here we go.
Hey, I'm waiting for Tavis Smiley to go ahead.
See?
It's so smooth, man. I feel like having a warm glass of brandy.
That's how it's supposed to make you feel, man.
I'm telling you, man.
Oh,
but nah, man, welcome back, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Again, we send love, peace, and blessings to you and yours, man. We pray that you're both healed, healthy, blessed, and prosperous mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, and all that and above. But we're going to get right into it. Y'all haven't seen King Kai in a minute, but what you can't see, while he looks as handsome as ever, if we could pan down,
And we won't.
there's been chaos upon his frail, fragile body because he tried to relive his days of glory and it came to a screeching halt. So, King, tell us what happened, man.
I just want you to know that I am miserable.
Yeah, I feel you.
And you guys are just having a dandy time. I am miserable.
Hey, man, I see many people on social media going in on.
Let me tell you something. It all came back to bite me, man. My friends, I'm a cursing individual.
Yes.
And I'm not going to curse now, but you know what my friends are not.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I got to get the same love that I give my friends, and boy, that hurt.
Yeah, so he had a video, y'all, on social media where you had rode up on your little scooter and then turned to the side.
My homeboy was like, when you get the knee scooter, I want video.
Right. So you provided it.
I tried to, Tokyo drift.
So Kai, just tell us what happened, man. Come on.
All right, man. Here's the deal.
Okay.
I got guilted, right?
Okay.
Me and my older brother are like this.
Okay.
Whenever you saw him, you saw me, even though we clash heavily.
Mm-hmm.
But for the past couple years, as life progressed and stuff like that, you get your family, you move on, you establish your own world and stuff like that. You drift. You drift apart. And while we're still close, we're just not around each other that much.
Yeah.
We don't really spend any real time.
Mm-hmm.
He had a young brother, a friend of his that he wanted to put some positive energy around. And he said the guy reminded him of me, and he just wants some positive energy as he's going through something.
Yeah.
And he just wanted to spend some time, talk about music, smoke some cigars, play some spades, play some basketball. I don't play spades. I ain't picked up a basketball in 4 years. I was like, can we do anything else?
Right. Right.
And he's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
And I know that I'm going to get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 38.
Uh-huh.
I ain't played in 4 years.
Yep.
I have never changed the way that I played.
Mm-hmm.
All explosion, all aggressive.
Okay, Derrick Rose. All right.
I was wearing D Roses.
Oh, wow.
Y'all, I did not know that.
Surprise twist. I was wearing D Roses.
Wow.
And let me tell you something, man. Me and my brother, he's my nemesis on the court, has always been my whole life.
Yeah.
It had been 4 years. I was fantastic. I was amazing out there.
Okay.
First 2 games, dominated physically. It was great.
Feeling
that third game, my brother and his friend are shooters.
Okay.
And they jumped out on us really bad. But the game before that, I had physically dominated. 10 straight points to end the game on my brother.
Yeah.
And I told homeboy, I said, look, if they miss, just give me the ball. I'm going to win this game. They missed. He gave me the ball. I took one step.
Yeah.
It felt like I had my foot on the curve. And then somebody took a hammer and it came down as hard as they could on my heel. It sounded like I had a glow stick in my heel and then somebody snapped it.
Snapped it. Wow. Yeah.
I ain't never felt pain like that in my life.
Yeah. You knew it was that was like immediately.
You know it's over.
Yeah.
And then I hit the ground and I get this abdominal cramp.
Lord
So I'm nailed to the ground.
Yeah.
And my brother is panicking. It's calf, and he's feeling on me like,
yeah.
I'm like, damn, get off of me.
Yeah.
Just let me breathe, man.
Yeah.
And once I stretched out the cramp, I turned over. I took a couple breaths. He lifted me up, and we just sort of looked at each other. And he was like, "Well," I was like, "Oh, it's over."
Yeah, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap. It's over. Let me tell you how much a piece of trash my brother is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I walked a little bit. Homeboy went and got me some ice. I sat down. Really, we should have went straight to the hospital. Yeah. Somebody should call me an ambulance.
Yeah.
The way me and my brother are set up, we don't like leaving the court with losses. So in the time that I'm icing my fully ruptured Achilles, my brother plays 2 more one-on-one games. Yes. So he won't walk off the court a loser.
Wow. Okay.
This is common for us. So I didn't really know that it was really bad until I was telling this story to somebody else, and they're like, "Oh man, that's messed up." I was like, "Yeah, that is messed up." Right.
Not 1, but 2 more games.
2 more games.
Hey, let's run it back one more time, baby.
Well, he's icing his, he ain't going nowhere. So, and I drove. I was just going to drop him off and drive myself to the hospital.
What's the recovery time?
Well, after surgery, initially they said 2 weeks. And then we could work our way into a boot. After surgery, they said the damage was really extensive. So I'm looking at 6 weeks. And then we can talk about the boot and then rehab.
Oh, wow.
So it's going to be an adventure for a couple months.
Yeah. I loved the post you had where Kyron was posted up in the bed with you. You know
That's
what I'm
my guy,
saying?
man.
Remember, like he rocked with me, even when I'm laid up. So
let me tell you, dude, before surgery, when I'm walking around in the boot and the crutches and stuff like that, if I had lost any of those games, I think I would have been really depressed right now. But since I was fantastic,
he went out on a shield, ladies and gentlemen.
Listen, I was good because even when we got in the car, I looked at my brother, and it's funny because we realized at the same time, that it was over.
Right, it's a wrap.
But the last time he saw me, I hadn't played basketball in 4 years, and I came out there and physically dominated him. And there's no get backs.
Right now, it's over. Yeah,
we looked at each other, and we laughed about that, and it was all fun and games. After surgery, boy, none of that even matters. Yeah, I have not felt pain like this, man, ever. After surgery, none of it even matters.
Yeah, and it's funny.
Popping these pills.
Yeah, because I know I was messing with Kyle about, was he like Kobe? Did he shoot his free throws? You know what I'm saying? After he popped the Achilles. You walked off. There you go. You go. Yeah.
I stood up. I took my breaths. I walked, called for my ice, sat down like a man.
Yeah. Because it's just funny how stuff happens like that as we age. Kyle, we were on the phone the other day, y'all. And I was just telling him that I, just went and got my annual checkups and stuff like that, blood work. And he's like, the doctor, he's like, yo, when you get to 40, because my doctor's like the same age. He's like, when you get to close to 40, man, you start just thinking. And Kyle was like, man, I'm the same way, man. I'm thinking like all this stuff is like possibly going on with me, Now Skeens is just ultra. I just get mine done. Nothing bothers me. I'm not afraid of anything. I'm never concerned. I'm like you know what I'm saying. But it's as we age, man. And I was talking to the homie. We were out today with his wife. Took them out for dinner for her birthday, and she just turned 45. And he was like, man, I used to get my stuff done before, like, but now I ain't been out. Like, bro, especially as people of color, man, we got to go see that dude. You know what I'm saying? At least once a year to see what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Can't play around, man. You can't play around.
Yeah, for real. So
last month I thought I had cancer and diabetes.
Right, because that's another thing we was talking about. Skeens is getting on Google, the gift and the curse. Because you can have a cough and it's going to give you everything from the common cold all the way over here. You know what I'm saying? That you might need. So I'm like, man, I'm looking at all
that to your wife. According to the internet, I have inner thigh cancer.
Right.
I didn't know that was a thing, but I'm sure I have it.
I'm pretty sure I remember how I told you my thigh was hurting.
Just in my inner thighs.
Yes.
So,
So yeah, man. But make sure y'all do that, man, on the real side, man. Especially if you got health coverage, a lot of times those annual checkups and stuff like that is kind of standard that you can get under there and have them run whatever test. Because a lot of times, the doctor I had here, she would only want to test kind of a certain couple of little things. But this doctor, man, I got, I don't know, maybe 40, 50 different results back of just, all the urine in the blood and the this and the that and the third. And they were just coming through on my little app on my phone where I was just, but it was comprehensive where he's like, hey, I'm leaving no stone unturned outside of, getting like I know some cats were talking about even once you get to a certain age, of course, going ahead and with your annual, get your like your cardiovascular check done. Of course, do your colon and all that stuff. But then even there's to make sure that your circulation and all that is on point, get that ran too, So I'm like, I'm gonna be trying to get all that stuff, man. But
everybody keeps telling me to go ahead and get violated. I asked my doctor, and my doctor was like, calm down.
Yeah.
Slow down. Yeah. I don't want to do it. You don't need it. Relax.
Yeah.
They can test that with your blood work. But
yeah, Skeens was saying that they give him some of his blood work where I'm like, I don't know what test that is.
I don't know about that.
Hey, it's on my paper.
I wish.
Hey, he said he showed me my percentage and said, hey, you got your stuff is pretty good. I said, oh, so you ain't got it? He said, nope. I said, appreciate you. That was
for your colon?
Yeah.
He said it's some kind of something he gets. Now I know.
So basically, he was saying if you're like 2.5% or whatever it is, that's when you start having issues. But based off my numbers, I'm a long ways from it. Therefore, I'm gonna keep going with the blood work.
Then they got the joint you could send your own stuff in, which is wild.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. I don't feel comfortable. I feel comfortable.
Self-violation.
Well, no,
handle this. I'm not handling this.
Yeah. Anyway,
I'm just gonna go with the blood work.
So, Kai, I wanted you to take us back a few months. Y'all know this dude is an author, a poet. He's the intellectual one, and this was a few months back that you actually did some spoken word of yours live.
Yeah, it was my first time.
And after all this, it's just funny, all the rapping and all the different stuff me and him did at church, all that kind of stuff. And this is the first time you did some spoken word. How did that go, man? How was it?
It's a different muscle.
Yeah.
I'm not I'm a different sort of poet.
Mm-hmm.
Spoken word is now at the forefront of poetry, especially Black poetry.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a traditional poet in a same sense as Nikki Giovanni. You don't see Nikki Giovanni get up there and perform.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yep.
She has programs in which she'll actually read from a book. It's more honor,
Yeah,
it's more of an
absolutely.
honor there.
Mm-hmm.
So I got invited out by the poet laureate of San Antonio to come out and open for her.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been performing pretty much my whole life, but it's been years.
Yeah.
And there wasn't nothing. It was a private event, so it wasn't nothing but like maybe 30 people in the building with a live band and everything. But man, I ain't never been so nervous in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I went there and I ordered a drink. It took me 30 minutes to get that drink.
Wow.
She was calling me to the stage by the time I got the drink.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish I would have got tequila. But
okay.
Once I got up there, you know, nervousness is funny, man. Stage fright is funny. Like all the air goes out in your head.
Yep.
You can't hear anything. You can't barely hear yourself. And I'm sure I was obviously, when I was speaking to everybody, I was obviously nervous.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then once you read, if you wrote something from your soul, it hits a little different. You're reading it because you felt it when you wrote it. So that helps. And I was only supposed to get up there and read one. I think I read 3.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it was really nice. I wouldn't mind doing it again. I'm not a spoken word. That's my writing partner. But it was a different experience. And I like it, man. I like feeling scared.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Still stay in touch with that. Yeah, that kind of thing there. And, you know, it's there's a certain level of, in the midst of that fear, that you still have a sort of release at the same time. You know what I'm saying? That you kind of go to this other place after you get over it. You know, as corny and cliche as that may sound, it's the truth of the matter, though. You know what I mean?
No, it's a reminder of life.
Yeah. We
sit around and we think about things and we like the way that we think, and we think that we're right about everything and we got everything all together. And then you find yourself in this situation and you're uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And you're scared, and you didn't think that you can be that way at 38 years old and you're a grown man and all of that stuff like that. It reminds you what life is really like.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Just when you think you got it all together, you can find that you're not so confident if you got to stand in front of 30 people. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. It was just like you and I were talking about just even today, guys, that what the pandemic and COVID has done for us, we've lived a long time with this false sense of certainty, which, you know, we get as we grow in age, we know that is a fallacy, but we all live with it, though. You know, that kind of keeps us sane and keeps us level, you know. But COVID has put us in a place where uncertainty is like right here all the time. For 2 years, uncertainty has been in your face every day. You know what I mean? And, you know, we had to kind of adjust our mental and our thinking about it. And like you say, really for me, it's just, again, understanding that, again, cliche as it is, that I just got to try to do the most with the time that I have. And I love that DJ Jazzy Jeff, you know, he was giving an example of being a creator. And, you know, I consider us all creatives at, you know, at different things. This is Skeens and I, Kai. This is our creativeness. You know what I'm saying? And that a lot of times as creatives, you always are thinking about how to monetize and get paid. But really, it's just about getting the creativity and the art out. You don't always have to get paid for everything. Kai didn't have to get paid to do that spoken word. Skeens and I ain't getting paid for these shows that we're doing. But the goal is to die empty. That was one of the dopest things I ever heard.
That's really dope. The goal is to just live your life pursuing the things that you're passionate about.
There you go.
If you're good, if you're prepared, and you're passionate, you believe in yourself enough, money's going to come.
Yeah.
If you chase money, it's always going to run faster.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. You're just wasting your time chasing something. You know what I'm saying? It's sort of like somebody being suicidal. I've had people that I've had to talk off a ledge and be like, hey, man, it's coming. Trust me. You don't have to chase it.
Right. Yeah.
Give it a little time. You don't have to chase something you're going to catch eventually.
Yeah.
Same thing with the money, man. The whole point is to not do something that makes you miserable. Chase your passions. Yeah. While you got to take care of what you got to take care of. While you work for somebody else, you got to work for yourself. And as long as you're chasing your passion, life is worth living.
Money
will come.
There you go. But yeah, that was one of the realest things of just, again, what do we gain, guys, if we die saying, again, I wish I would have, or I had all these ideas that I didn't. No, our goal and our journey in life is to get all of that stuff out. Yeah. So when you die, you just like, again, I did it, I did it all. I died empty of all of that stuff that, my God-given talent, my purpose, and all of that. So,
they say the richest place is a graveyard.
Right. Yeah.
There's so many
I've heard that quote. Yeah.
Ideas, potential, thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda beens.
Yeah.
That died. And it's amazing that you talk about dying empty.
Yeah.
And even what Kai is saying, chase your purpose. But how many of us really have truly identified our purpose?
That's another good question. Yeah.
Or even visualize what
it's funny.
What that should be.
Yeah. Go ahead, King.
A lot of people are waiting for the money. A lot of people are waiting for the money. If you won the lotto right now, I bet you a lot of the people that you're going to discover, wow, they had a lot of good ideas. You didn't know that they had a lot of good ideas until you had the ability to make their dreams reality. Yeah. They was just waiting. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They're just sitting on ideas, and since they don't see no money in it, they don't pursue it. Yeah. But once you have the ability to make their dreams come true, then they're going to come with the ideas.
Mm-hmm. But talking about
the question is also.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Real quick. So do we then say that people think their purpose is the money? Because the money, as you said, as you talked about talking people out the ledge, it's going to come. Mm-hmm. I think too many people think their purpose is the money.
Of course,
the money is a byproduct of you truly tapping into your purpose.
Yeah, the purpose is your purpose. Yes. I mean, the purpose is to pursue purpose. The purpose is not money.
Yes. But I think a lot of us have it backwards.
Bishop used to always say, money is the least in the kingdom, but in the world, it's the most. You know what I'm saying? And instantly, more credence is given to a cat if he attains success and money. You know what I'm saying? Skeens and I always talk about it. Right now, Kai, all three of us can walk through Walmart with no fanfare. Mm-hmm. But give us some clout or social media claim, or all of a sudden I can't walk through Walmart no more. Later. I'm the same guy that could come in here and get my my organic wild rice, my grass-fed beef without any fanfare, but because of how we look at those things and esteem people like that, that's what it is. You know what I mean? And that's kind of, I think, what I've been trying to do more and more is try to return back, Kai, to like a childlike innocence about how I pursue things I want to do, where there's nothing that is out of the realm of possibility for us to accomplish and do. But as we grow, we start that way as kids. Where it's like, I love one of my favorite movies, y'all, is Zootopia. And it's like, ain't no bunny cop. She's like, I have to be the first one. You know what I'm saying? But her parents was trying to get her to be a carrot farmer. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the world does. In the system, you're trying to pursue all of these things and this purpose that's within you. And the world is telling you, for lack of a better term, just be a carrot farmer. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to return back to that place that I was, where everything is attainable, and switching gears real quick, Kai, I wanted to talk some about talking about creative. I consider this dude one of the most creative, pursuit. And Kai, I feel like you've mastered that better than me. That's what I glean off of you, is your ability to really write things down and your gift for writing and to put things actually into motion. You know what I mean? That's what I glean off of you as my brother. But speaking of which, author and writing wise, what you got coming for us here in the near future?
Right. Just to let you know, you're going a little in and out right now, but I am catching what you're saying. So hopefully next week I'll be able to put out 2 books.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Self-publishing my first book of poetry, which is called Must You Burn Before You Respect Fire. And then another book called Militant Man-Child. That's essays, that's observation, that's poetry, and that's anecdotes. Just using memories and trying to find purpose and just speaking from the heart. A lot of this came from 2019, 2018, and 2020, when I'm working at a place that's miserable. I'm miserable, but my mind is working. So I'm writing every day, 30 seconds at a time at work, 12-hour shifts, what have you, just pouring it all out, not trying to, I'm afraid of keeping thoughts in my head. I feel that that's going to be your legacy. You can't promise that you're going to leave your children riches or stability. What I could leave is information. And that's really what it's about. Passing down information and leaving something. You know, I always had this dream, and I think we've talked about this before, is writing something for my great grandkids. And, you know, my great grandkids in the future who I'll never see, they open up a book and it's granddad writing them, letting them know that I imagined them and that I loved them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's more legacy than anything. So it's just, it was a whole lot of pouring out of my mind. I'm trying to leave my mental state, who I am at this age. And then the more I write, this is who I was, and they can watch me change. They can learn from my negativeness, because I'm being as honest as possible. As honest as possible. That's all I can do is show them that your father was somebody who thought and felt deeply. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's dope, man. I wasn't expecting you to say it was coming out possibly next week, though. I wasn't expecting that. But I think, though, it's just what you're kind of talking about. I was looking at I'm always trying to draw these parallels. You know, people like, man, y'all be trying to connect stuff. But I was looking at randomly Terminator 2 was on the other day. And they went to Dyson's house, the old boy's house, and they was gonna try to kill him or whatever to stop the apocalypse, but they still had that chip. And what Kai is talking about is leaving that DNA and that chip back. You know what I'm saying, for those that come after us. So I think that's probably one of the when we first did our first talk with Kai, and he was like, man, I hope I'm not running my mouth too much. And he was saying stuff like that. And I was just looking over at Skeens like, no, keep going, keep talking, because that's what the goal is to leave that legacy, to leave that DNA. And I mean, that really hit home for me, Kai, because only one of my grandparents that I actually have any type of real tangible relationship with them. The other grandparents were dead while I was very young, while I was in Italy. You know what I mean? So if I wish that I had something to go back to know how they thought, to know what they went through, you know, like you say, to know that they thought about me, that just would have added so much to me. And for that, you know, that connection that I wish that I had with that generation that was before me. So
help with self-identification.
Absolutely.
So you know who you are, how you became. Or why do you think this way?
Right.
Or your certain traits that you have, you know, and it actually gives you an explanation to these different questions that you may have. No different like when you see some kids that are adopted, that have never met their parents, and they go on this journey trying to find those parents, to search for those questions that they have about themselves. But I have one question, Kai. I know you say you're going to be self-publicated. What is that process like? Because there may be some people that may be listening that want to write something themselves, but don't know how to put it out themselves. What's that process and how does that look?
What I'm going through, I mean, I'm very new to the journey myself.
Gotcha.
The most go-to right now is Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing.
Okay.
That seems to be, even when I'm dealing with these people who, like, they'll edit your manuscript for you, people who do your book cover and all of that stuff like that, they're doing all of this for Kindle Direct Publishing. Okay. Because it's like the first outlet if you're publishing a book self. And there's other outlets, and you can get your stuff to Barnes and Nobles and all of that. But this seems to be the hub.
Okay.
So that's who I'm going with directly. And the goal is, after I self-publish, to take it to an actual publisher and see if you can get it republished.
Okay.
But there's a lot of things that I'm picking up along the way. Like Jay and I had a conversation about, I believe we did, about Fiverr. Did we have a conversation about Fiverr?
We did, yep.
Fiverr has been a lifesaver. My issue was I have all the tools in my head, but no resources.
Gotcha.
And no real guidance. And then somebody suggested to me, hey, why don't you check Fiverr out for your book cover? So you go on this app, and it's just a whole bunch of people who offer these services. Hey, I'll edit your book for 25 or 100 or something like this, and you get the proof copy and the source file and all of this stuff. And then you notice, okay, they have editors. They have the people who do this. They have people who do this. They have stuff for screenplays. They have stuff for people who set up your podcast. Just all sorts of crazy stuff. Just this one little app has given me life as a person who's doing it by myself. So I'm learning stuff along the way. So that would be a big thing that I would say to anybody that's trying to self-publish and write. Fiverr. They've got so many people there that offer you services to where you can invest in yourself. It's going to cost you money, but you're investing in yourself. Your book covers, your editing, all of this stuff. There's people that offer their service to you. It's great. It's great.
That's what's up.
So, switching gears, because we're gear switchers. What was your take on the last night's proceedings between Mr. Crawford and Mr. Porter? I know what you thought, but
well, I had Sean Porter winning the first couple rounds. And he did the best that he could. Bud Crawford is Bud Crawford. It's his time. He's just one of those guys like Mayweather. He's a computer.
Right.
He's just going to download everything you're doing, make adjustments, fight a different fight. And he got the win. I don't like the way it was stopped. People are like, his father was trying to protect him. But this was his last fight, and he knew it.
Yeah.
His father knew it. And matter of fact, when he fought Terrence, when he fought Spence, he thought that was going to be his last fight. So this was really his last fight. And if your father knew that this was your last fight, and you're not literally hurt, you're just frustrated, and you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, you got to let a man go out on a shield.
Agreed. Yeah.
And
Agreed.
He has always followed his father respectfully. And I respect that about him. But man, at some point in time, you got to call him out. He always handles himself classy. He always treats his father right. His father had the best intentions. Man, you got to let that man go out on his shield.
Yeah.
You got to let him go out on the shield.
I thought it was, was kind of back and forth for the first, 6 rounds or so, something like that. I don't know what it was, but like you said, what got him caught, because when Sean Porter fought Kell Brook way back, it was one thing that Kell Brook did so well in that fight was control distance because of his aggression. He used it against him. You know what I mean? And so Bud, when the time came, like you said, he was like, okay, let me switch. And this dude is right in line, because he's coming forward. And Bud, it took like a step and a half back, 2 steps back. And there the shot was perfectly for him to land. And it wasn't like Sean was that hurt where you're like, you look at a boxer, you're like, he is ruined. He is done. You know what I'm saying? Throwing the towel. He was pounding the canvas like, man, why do I keep letting myself get hit by this same shot? You know what I'm saying? But say my dad stops the fight. Okay. But after the fight, when they're asking the questions of what happened, Well, to be honest, in camp, he didn't do what I told him to do. A lot of time they think they be knowing what they supposed to do when they don't listen to the trainer. So, this kind of stuff happen when you don't listen to your trainer. I'm like, God, dog.
That was the wrong time.
Yeah, like talk to me like that after the fact.
Yeah.
Like don't say that right now in front of everybody, man. Like, and he's always
that's how his dad is, though. That's how his dad is.
Yeah.
Kenny.
If you watch the behind the scene footage, if you watch the way that his dad talks to him, it's like, I love my dad, but I would have got another trainer a long time ago.
And that was a question I would love to ask. Did he stick with his dad too long as his trainer?
I think he did 100%.
Me as well. Watching the fight, I still had him up about 2 rounds. Before the 10th, I still had him winning because it was a very good fight. I think the turning point was, like you talked about, when Crawford switched southpaw. Because when he was fighting orthodox, from a timing standpoint, Sean was getting off first, and Crawford couldn't really.
Crawford even said he was letting him work when at different points. Crawford said that
he couldn't figure it out because he was getting off a split second too fast. But when he switched southpaw, the timing and like you said, that straight, he lined himself up perfectly for a lot of that. But I didn't know that this was his last fight, and I wonder also if he knew knowing that this was his last fight, does that doubt creep in later on in the fight? Because as they talk about, even in sports in general, once you think about retirement, you've already really retired in your mind. And the last place you can play is boxing. If in your mind you're retired, you can't play boxing. And I think that may have been one of the things that fed into why his dad stopped the fight. Like, look, he's already mentally checked out, knowing that this is his final fight. The last thing I want to see him to have life-altering injuries by staying in the fight too long, which it seems that if that was the case, then his maternal instinct took over, contrast to his instincts of being a trainer. Right. But to talk about him the way he did, if you're knowing that this is your last fight, I would never let the last image of you be me downgrading you in the public eye like that.
Exactly. 100%. 100. But I think I wanted to close out is to get the King's perspective and give us your official word on a lot of people I've seen in the community were upset over the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict, trial, et cetera, et cetera. So give me some of that good King Kai commentary on the proceedings and what you think that, what does this mean? Is this a precedent that we setting, or is this a sign of us supporting white supremacy, or what do you think?
It is, I followed it. I knew it was coming. If you watched a little bit of it, the prosecutor was fighting 2 lawyers.
Yep.
The defendant and the judge. I have never in my life seen anything like that. And I was like, oh, it's over. It's over. There's no way that he was not getting off. And it's fine. We need stuff like that thrown in our face. Don't get comfortable. You need a constant reminder of where you are at. I think that what use is a soldier if he doesn't know that he's in a war? And a lot of us do not understand that we're in a war. I see a lot of black people who don't think they're poor because they have cell phones and laptops.
True.
You don't know that you're in a war. You can never win it. And it's not necessarily, it could be it's obviously a physically and violent war with the powers that be, but it's also a culture war. And we think we're winning because we see ourselves in every commercial now. We get the surface stuff. But judicially, legislatively, hate to step on a lot of people's toes, Has anybody seen Kamala Harris lately?
Dude.
One time?
Hey, bro. You know how,
One time.
Hey, I'm with
Have you heard from her since she did her HBCU? Since she did the black thing? Once she got in the office, you ain't seen her not one time.
Not to mention
Did you hear President Biden's remarks on a Rittenhouse case?
No. Oh yeah.
I didn't.
He said that he stands behind the judge.
Stands behind the jury that Kyle Rittenhouse that he picked. I've never seen that in my life.
Has anybody talked about the not giving the HBCUs at 45?
Man, look, to be an African American is to be constantly enraged.
All right, Mr.
And
Baldwin.
if you're not, you're nice and comfortable, tucked away. You don't know you're in a war.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm. Yep, true indeed. True indeed. I mean, I thought though, too, once I saw what the actual gun law was in Wisconsin, I said it's a wrap for him.
Bruh.
As far as I knew he would get off.
Well,
Oh yeah.
Once I saw that at 17, they got this rule about pistol versus, a long gun or rifle. I said, I mean, they ain't going to be able. I think that they should have come with, I don't know what it is because I ain't a lawyer, but I was like, they should have taken a different angle of trying to actually prosecute him. But having him with the gun violation, that wasn't going to stick.
The first thing I knew
Well,
was go ahead.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, sir. You got it.
When they took away the gun charge, it's over.
It's over. It's a wrap. Yeah.
It's a wrap. It was over before it even began.
Yeah.
Because the lawyer tried to common sense it. Hey, you're not allowed to have this weapon.
Right.
Hey, you're not allowed to touch this weapon cross state lines.
Right.
Hey, you really shouldn't be there. Hey, do you recognize that you're not allowed to guard physical stuff with a gun?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All of this makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
He even admitted, I intended to kill all of them. I knew I didn't have to kill them. I knew I'm not supposed to guard property with a weapon. All of that.
Mm-hmm.
But you thought common sense in America is going to win the case. It's not how it works.
No, doesn't work that way.
I knew it was over the second that the judge said you can't call the victims victims.
Over.
It's
When
a
he,
wrap.
when he made that statement that you can't call the victims victims,
Right.
you knew it was done. That was number one. Two, when they took away the gun charge.
That.
Because if we're to go by law, his mother was an accomplice. Because his mother knowingly drove him across
She should be in jail.
She drove him across state lines with a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. Your parent drove you,
Mm-hmm.
and you went across state lines with a weapon with the intent of harming. Bro, there's no different than when the Trayvon Martin situation.
And he was out there lying, saying he was an EMT and all of that stuff like that.
So when you had can't think of his name with Trayvon, he was basically a Zimmerman neighborhood watch. Well, the police told you not to come, not to pursue, not to do anything, but you took it on. You took it in your hands to say, "Hey, I'm going to be a vigilante and do what I want to do."
Mm-hmm.
So even with this situation, he said he knew that he wasn't supposed to be there.
Right.
You knew that you couldn't protect the area with the gun. So they say ignorance of the law is not accepted.
Mm-hmm.
That means he knew the law and he still violated the law. You have the judge on here. They really should disbar him. He's coaching him into what to say. Right. I mean, he's basically coaching in to try to drum up tears.
Yeah. I thought the last nail in the coffin too was when my man said, "Hey, I pulled a gun on him, but I wasn't gonna shoot him." Why did they put him on the stand? Because you practiced this stuff before. How did he get up there to even say that?
Bro.
My thing is the sad part about it is, in this case, black people took it the hardest.
Yeah.
And the people that he killed were white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We took it the hardest.
Yeah. But it still told you that, as in the words of Paul Mooney, he has a skin complexion for the protection.
White tears, baby.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as he started crying, it was over.
Bro, let that have been a man of color, of any color.
Mm-hmm.
It's over. It's that one woman, I can't think of the woman's name, that shot when her husband used to beat on her. She shot a warning shot.
Oh yeah.
Wall,
We were talking about that the other day. Yeah.
And that woman, they gave her like 25 years.
They gave her like 25.
Baraka, no one stood up for her. This woman has pressed charges on her husband. She has documented paperwork that she went to the police department about, and all these trying to get restraining order, have all these injuries. She shot a warning shot into the wall and got 25 years. She shot a warning shot into the wall and got 25 years. Laws are fair. Yep.
But like you said, Kai, I saw a lot of black folks that were taking it really, 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 really hard. And I'm like, for me, I see that over there, but I can't let that knock me off what we got to do over here. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I wasn't shocked. I wasn't surprised.
Nope.
I saw people with the sentiment that, I'm sick to my stomach. I can't take it anymore. I'm like, this is like saying I went to McDonald's and saw that they had a Big Mac. And I'm like, oh, really? Here? And fries, you say?
This is like there's going to be a mass shooting tomorrow. And then next week we'll get over it.
Yep. Absolutely. But
it's not normal, but it's the norm. America is going to America. And me, to tell you the truth, just a twisted individual, I like situations like this.
Yeah.
You need to be reminded.
Yep.
You need it thrown in your face.
Yep. In the words of Paul Mooney, you got your nigga wake up call. So sometimes you do need wake up. But yeah, man. But y'all, we want to do a quick episode with the King. We'll probably come back and do something soon again. But you got any parting shots for us on the way out? We always give you a parting shot section. So
no parting shots other than, hey, man, when you guys turn 35, stop playing sports. It's not for you anymore.
Put your jersey in the rafters.
Hang my wife, beat her up in the rafters. I hope it's still sweaty with gravel.
Yep. But
nah, man, my parting shot is, while you do what you have to do, pursue the things that you want.
There you go.
At the same time.
There you go. That's it, man. Perfect closing, man. But it's been another episode, y'all, of How Did We Get Here? I'm your host, Jay Carter, and we got our official third host, King Kai.
Almighty.
And the man that is always heard and never, ever will be seen, Skeens.
And it sure remain.